Okay, sorry about that very abrupt ending on that last video. I now know that my memory card fills up at about 30 minutes, so I'll try and take that into account with my next vlogs. So basically what I was saying when the camera cut off in the last one is just that Disney has kind of run out of most of the traditional princessy tales. So, yeah, but those ones that I suggested, 12 Dancing Princesses, Goose Girl, Princess and the Pea, any of those would be fun. So now let's move on to question number 3 from Claire. Have you seen Monsters University yet? No, I have not. We were actually planning on seeing it for our anniversary. Hubby and I normally go and see the newest Disney Pixar film because it usually is released around the time of our anniversary. Honestly, I mean, you guys know what a huge Disney Pixar fan I am, but I was not as excited about this movie. Part of it is I'm not really big on the whole college scene. I did read the review from Plugged In Online, and I just felt, or I guess it's pluggedin.com now. I just felt there was enough in it that I would probably wait till it came out on DVD. I have heard it's cute from some people, so I don't know. I don't know. After Brave last year, I was kind of disappointed in that one. And it seems like with Cars 2 and now Monsters University and next year it's Finding Dory, I feel like they're kind of running out of original ideas, and I feel really disloyal for even saying that, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. So no, I have not seen Monsters University. That's the short answer, but as you know, I don't believe in short answers apparently. Okay, so question number 4. So we know your favorite princesses are Belle and Rapunzel. They're Claire's too. But that's not what she said. That's what I said. She said mine too. I should have just read it. Anyway, but who are your favorite princes and sidekicks? That's another really good question. Honestly, I love a lot of the newer-ish princes. I guess some of them aren't new because they were from when I was little. But, you know, in Snow White and Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, the princes were kind of one-dimensional. Prince Philip did have a little more character development, but I love, especially the Beast and Eugene. I mean, they're two of my very favorites, partially because they're from my favorite movies, but I love how in both of those, by knowing Belle and Rapunzel, they become better people. They complete each other. I love the whole message of seeing beyond appearances from Beauty and the Beast, and how Belle has to see past this ugly face to see the goodness within that has been buried there for so long, and how he does have some real issues, and yet by knowing Belle, he becomes better. I especially love the sacrificial love that is shown in Tangled. So many of the movies today, love is all about what I want and how the other person can make me happy. In this case, they were both willing to give up everything for the other person. For Eugene, it was more important that Rapunzel be free from Mother Gothel than for him to live. He was willing to give his life for her. And for Rapunzel, she was willing to give up her freedom so that Eugene could live. So it was just such a beautiful picture of true seeking the best for each other, which is what true love really is. But I do enjoy, there are other princes I enjoy too. I enjoy Aladdin. For a while I kind of went through a phase where I was annoyed with him because he lies throughout the whole movie and he still gets what he wants. But he does have that moment where he could have wished for everything back, and instead he frees the genie, and so, you know, that shows some growth and some change in his character. And I really liked Prince Naveen, actually. I was disappointed with all of the really dark voodoo stuff they put in that movie, but I liked a lot of it. And I loved the characters of Naveen and Tiana. I felt it was another kind of Beauty and the Beast story where, you know, they had to get to know each other and see past the exteriors and past the first impressions and find out more about each other. And Naveen does become a better person because of being with Tiana. So, yeah, those are some of my others. As far as sidekicks, of course, I love Pascal and Maximus. I really have always loved Lumiere. He was my favorite when I was younger. From other movies, I love Sebastian the Crab. I think he's hilarious. Abu is really fun, and I love the magic carpet. There are a lot of them I really like. but that's probably a good enough list for now. And number 5 from Claire is, have you continued watching Downton Abbey? Yes, I did watch last season. I do not know that I will be watching this season. Unfortunately, the content in that show has just gotten worse and worse. And there's just some stuff I really don't care for that they chose to put in that series. And I have to say, I was very irritated by the way they ended the series, and I will try not to say too much so I don't spoil it for people. But yeah, from a story perspective, I mean, I understand why they had to do what they had to do, and I appreciate that they took that route and not some of the other routes they could have taken, but it just, I really did not like that ending, and I would go into more detail on that, but it might become ranty, so we shall move on. From Anonymous, do you watch Sherlock? Yes, I do. I did mention that in one of the Doctor Who posts, I think, like she had wondered. Yes, I watched Sherlock. Once again, it's another thing like Doctor Who, which makes sense since it's by the same person, the same writer, Stephen Moffat, at least for most of it, or some of it. I really enjoy what they do with the show. I think it's a very clever reimagining, but there is definitely some content in that show as well that I do not appreciate. I could have pretty much done without the whole scene, the whole episode where the gal was naked for half of it. I didn't appreciate that whatsoever, and there are just a few other little content things here and there, but it is very well done. My aunt is a huge fan of Benedict, so she really loves Sherlock and always keeps me updated on any Benedict news. Okay, so from Casey. Hi Casey, good to hear from you. Sorry, I just had to put that in there. Her question is, have you ever done or would you ever consider doing paid doll refurbishment, for lack of a better word? Yes, I would. It's a little bit nerve-wracking. I have done some work on dolls, as you guys know. There's a big difference between doing work on your own dolls and doing work on someone else's precious heirloom doll or whatever. I think I would... sorry, I'm trying to think here. I think it would be very exciting to learn how to do that. And actually, one of the gals in my local doll club has done doll restorations for museums and things like that, and she's very interested in teaching me some of the things that she's learned, which is super exciting and such a unique opportunity, but it's a little nerve-wracking too. I am just a little nervous about messing up, because you do tend to mess things up as you're learning something. So I have bought a few older dolls that I can kind of play around with. Excuse me. So yeah, that is something I would consider. I don't know that it's a right away thing, and I don't know that I would necessarily do it through the internet at this point. I would probably stick to local things for now, just because adding shipping adds a whole nother level of chaos and confusion. So yeah, yes, I would be interested. I'm not sure if that's a right away future, but yes. Okay, and Eileen has 2 questions for me. Number 1, do your daughters like AG as much as you do, and which ones are their favorites? My daughters all enjoy American Girl. I think that oldest gal is probably into it the most at this point. You know, she's right at that target age because she's 9, and so she's been reading a lot of the books, and that's naturally given her an interest in the dolls. She has Josefina and Elizabeth right now, and has a lot of them that she would like to have. Middle gal enjoys them as well. She has Felicity, and she's showing more interest in the mini dolls right now. She really wants a mini Sage, and she has a mini Cecile, but she's always liked smaller things, so I can understand that. And she has a lot of varied interests in doll lines and things. I mean, they all do, but she especially. And little gal really likes American Girl as well. She does not actually have an official American Girl doll yet, and was a Molly girl for a long time. She really, really, really wanted a Molly, but just in recent months she's decided she now really wants a Kit, because Kit looks more like her. So, we'll kind of see how that goes, but yes, it's very fun sharing that hobby with them. So yeah. Number 2, also, are they interested in blogging when they get older? definitely, all of them have expressed an interest in it. So as they get older, we'll have to see how that goes. But yes, seeing mommy do blogging, they've all been interested in doing it themselves as well. Okay, so my next question is from Alexandra. What are your thoughts on the fact that American Girl is slowly but surely archiving the historical dolls, and do you think it will change the purpose, point, focus, can't think of the right word, of the company, for better or worse? I have very strong views on this, and would love to hear your thoughts. I probably shouldn't have started this 10 minutes into the vlog, but yes, I do think it's kind of sad that they're starting to archive a lot of the historicals, and I'm sure they have their reasons for it, especially marketing-wise. And it does seem like they have been bringing new historicals, so I do appreciate that they're at least not phasing out the historical line. It has been interesting seeing the changes, especially with Mattel's takeover in 1998, and with just all the rules and regulations you have to follow in releasing toys nowadays. The quality, in some ways, has gone down, if I could say that. When I was growing up and the dolls were released, if you had a historical doll, then her accessories were pretty much made the way they would have been in a big version. Like if, for instance, Kirsten's wooden lunch box was actually wooden, it wasn't plastic. And I know that some of their stuff is still authentic, but a lot of stuff is plastic now. The food you get now is clumped together because of choking hazards. So that's been kind of sad to see, just because there was something so special and unique about the pre-Mattel accessories and things. And I do think, when they started the company, Pleasant Rowland, however you say her name, forgive me if I'm butchering that, she started the company because she wanted a special heirloom quality doll for girls, and also a way to get them interested in history. And as you read the historical books, it is really neat, because especially for girls in that age group, you can read about, wow, this is how girls my age lived in this time period, this is what they ate, this is how they dressed, these were the chores or the jobs they had to do, this was what the world was like at that time, and these were the issues that they were facing in those times. And I think that's a really rare and wonderful thing. It does seem like in recent years especially, they are definitely zeroing in more on the My AG dolls, because that's, what the girls seem to be interested in, and a lot of pink and all that sort of thing. I don't necessarily have a problem with the My AG line, and sometimes I feel kind of hypocritical talking about how important the historical aspect is, because I tend to buy modern dolls or buy historical dolls and make them modern. But a lot of that for me is because of the way I blog. My dolls are in my blog, and they blog from their perspective. And to have a historical doll would just add a whole level of complication to my blogging, because I feel that I would need to research the time period to make sure that I was blogging in a way that was accurate to their time period. And so I've just found it's easier to have modern dolls. But yes, I do feel the historical line is important. It'll be interesting to see the direction the company takes. I hope they do not phase out the historicals completely, because I feel that that was what made their company and their doll line so unique. I could probably go into a lot more, but I think I'll stop there. And speaking of stopping, I am going to go ahead and stop this movie again, or vlog, whatever I'm doing here. And I think I may be able to fit this into one more, but I might not. So we'll kind of see how things go. But I will see you guys on the next vlog.